Hey y'all, now that we know everything there is to know about coordinate planes, let's actually use it in a real world situation where we actually need to problem solve. Okay, so the first problem is about Tyrone and Kyra. They both walk home from school and they want to know how far apart their homes are. And Tyrone and Kyra like, well, I go east and then west and north and then south. And that may not be helpful, but if we use a coordinate plane, we could probably figure out. So here's our coordinate plane. And now, anytime you have a map, you can use a coordinate plane. You'll want to label it though. And on maps, north is up. Then it goes west, then it goes east, south, west. Never eat soggy waffles. Only when I was growing up, it was never eat shredded wheat. Whatever you do. But that tells you kind of what direction it goes, northeast, southwest. Okay? And it says that they both walk home from school. Now, because we're creating this map, we don't yet have a place for school. I'm going to make it easy, and I'm going to put school right at the origin, right at 0, 0. And now I can figure out where Kyra lives because it says Kyra is 4 blocks east and 3 blocks south. So I'm going to go 4 blocks east and then 3 blocks south. And I'm going to say that point K is at +4 and then -3. Now Tyrone is 3 blocks west and 3 blocks south. So still from the school, Tyrone goes 3 blocks west and 3 blocks south. So he is at, I'm going to make that T and label T as -3, -3. So how far apart are they? They're on the same road, it looks like, right? It looks like they're both on that -3 axis, y-axis road, right? Their y coordinate is the same. But what distance is that? Well, let's look at the x then. The x coordinate has Kyra at +4 and Tyrone at -3. What is the distance between +4 and -3? Well, from last lesson, we know we can take the absolute values of those and add them up. 4 plus 3 is 7, isn't it? And you could see that here. You could go, okay, well, Kyra is 4 blocks from the road the school is on, and Tyrone is 3 blocks from that road. And if they add them up, they will get 7 blocks. I wish you guys could yell at me while I'm doing these and tell me when I'm covering things up. So we found out that they are 7 blocks from home. Done. Now Busby County is rectangular shaped. We have a map and we want to know what is the county's perimeter. We have the 4 corners of their county. Let's use a coordinate plane. So we're going to put these points at -5, 8. Now -5 is not on here, but I do know it's between -4 and -6, huh? So let's go -5, 8. And I'll label that because that might come in handy later. -5, 8. And then 8, 8 is right there. Then 8, -10 is down in quadrant 4. And then -5, -10 is in quadrant 3. So here's the shape of Busby County. It's a rectangle. It's a beautiful county. Now the question is, what is the county's perimeter? If you don't know what perimeter is, Google it or look it up in the dictionary or listen to your teacher. So the perimeter, if you remember, it is kind of like the fence. It's the surrounding area. What is that distance? Basically, if Busby County was a fort, and the whole county was inside the fort, how much of the fort wall is Busby County? So it's about distance, correct? So let's find the distances here. Now we could count and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half. But we need to remember that we're actually counting by 2s, aren't we? So we need to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and half is 13. Which was kind of weird, right? Or we could remember our last lesson where we take the coordinates that are different. In this case, 8, negative 5, and 8, and we find the distance. Okay, what's the distance between negative 5 and 8? Well, negative 5 is really just like a distance of 5, because distance is always positive, right? Plus 8, and that gives you 13. So yeah, we were right in counting. So 13 there, 13 on the bottom, because it's a rectangle, correct? And now let's find the distance from these 2 points. If I look, it is my y-axis, it's my elevator coordinates that are different. What is the distance between positive 8 and negative 10? Well, 8 plus the absolute value of negative 10 is 18, correct? And we could check that because look, this is 8. And this, to get all the way up to the x-coordinate, the x-axis would be 10. 8 plus 10 is 18, which means this side is 18. So we now need to go 13, 18 plus 13 plus 18. However we want to do it. I think I'll go add my 2 18s and get 36, add my 2 13s and get 26, add those two together and get 62. Now I need to label it correctly. 62, we're not going to say units because it actually told us what the units were. Each unit is 1 mile. So 62 miles. That would be the perimeter for Busby County. And the last one is about Molly. Now, hopefully I fixed this, but they have the library in the wrong spot. Okay, now we're good. Molly's school is located at point S. The reflection point, we don't have S. Oh, because it's the reflection. We have to figure that out. The reflection point M across the y-axis. All right, I see what we have to do here. So what is the coordinate of Molly's house? Well, Molly's house is at 5 and then 7. 5, 7. The library is at negative 5, positive 7. Okay, I'm following along. So what is the coordinate of Molly's school? Now we got to find the school. And what we know is that it's a reflection. Means we're going to fold it, right? Across the y-axis. I'm going to remember that my y is my long one. So I'm basically going to fold that right there, right? Where is Molly's house going to hit? If I fold it at the exact same spot, just at the exact opposite side, right? So it's going to end up being, if I fold it right there. So because Molly's house was 5, 7, the school is also going to be 5, 7. But now we're in quadrant 2, so it's going to be negative 5 and then up to 7. So the school is at negative 5, positive 7. Oh, did you catch my mistake right there? I wish you guys could yell at me. The library is at negative, negative. Oh, how many of you have already come up to tell me my mistake? Thank you. I may or may not have given you a fruity. I may have been like, just deal with it because I always make mistakes. No. All right. Last question. If each unit on the map represents 1 block, what was the distance Molly traveled to school and then the library? Okay, so she first went to school. So Molly's house to school was, if we look, the x coordinates are different. So what's the distance between 5 and negative 5? 5 plus 5 is 10. And then she went to the library after school. So the difference there is the y coordinates. So what's the distance between 7 all the way to negative 7? Well, if they meet in the middle, if I go 7 here and 7 here, that would be 14. So school to library is 14. So the total distance she went was 24. And it told us that each unit is blocks. So there we go. She went 24 blocks, which, if there are size blocks, are every 8 blocks is a mile. So she went 3 miles. Wow, good job, Molly. All right, friends, have fun problem solving and real world problems.